Hi, everyone, and welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to join me today. My name is Kristen Magenst, and I'm your product education specialist here at TradeSmith. We are thrilled to have you with us today as we dive into another interactive bootcamp session. These webinars are your go-to resource for hands-on guidance across all TradeSmith products. So let's go ahead and look at today's topics. So today we will take a deep dive into the TradeSmith Scans page. It's a powerful feature that puts all your favorite screener results right at your fingertips, and it's updated daily. In this session, you'll learn where to find your scans and how to use this feature and make it your own. All right, let me get the disclaimer out of the way. The information we present today and in upcoming tutorials is only for educational purposes. We are not financial advisors and cannot provide any personalized advice or recommendations. We are recording today's presentation, so if you do miss something, don't worry about it. You will be able to go back and rewatch it at your convenience. All right, let's get rid of this PowerPoint and we'll head right to the website. One moment. All right, and to find the Scans tab, we are going to click on the Invest tab here, and then simply click on Scans. So first things first, what are scans? So scans provide you with the top results of TradeSmith's saved screeners. The scans are meant to help you find investment opportunities based on the screener's filters. You can choose any scan based on the opportunity of focus. The Scans tab is not the same as our TradeSmith strategies, which provides a detailed entry and exit criteria. All right, so let's start with how do you make scans your own? So you'll see all these boxes here. You can adjust the preferred location or the order of the display scans cards by dragging and dropping the card from the upper right dot icon. So right here, you'll notice all the boxes will have these dots, every single one of them. So what you can do if you don't like the setup, the basic setup like we have it here, here is what you should see if you haven't made any personalized changes. This is what it would look like if you clicked on the scans page. So if I wanted to personalize this, I could click, and you're going to hold your mouse down on the clicker and you can move it wherever you want them to be until you like the view. The Manage View link in the upper right-hand corner, this right here, this allows you to turn on or off your TradeSmith scans to view the scans that align most with your investment style. So here's where you can put the check marks in the boxes that you want to see and not see. And then if you want more information, you can click on top of this hotspot, click here for some quick information on the Manage View button. All right, so how to find opportunities from your favorite screener results. So you can view the top results for each scan card here. So they're going to show the top results here. However, you could go to the screener tool to continue your research by hitting the view results link. So most of you will go ahead and click on view results, probably because you're most familiar with the screener tool and looking at it that way for more results. So if I were to click view results on any of these cards, it's going to take me straight into the screener tool. So it's going to route me here and it's going to automatically provide the defaulted filters for those scan cards we set up. You are able to also add additional filters, which is pretty neat. So when it routes you to this screener page, it's automatically going to fill in the requirements for that card. I forget the one that we clicked on. I think it was the dividend leaders. So in order to make it on this card, if I clicked on results, the filters that are already here is the requirements for that box, for that scan card. I like to call them baseball cards for that card. But again, if you want to be a little more savvy with your searches, you are more than welcome to add any additional screener filters that you'd like. So all you would do is click on Add Filter. You can either search for the filter here by typing a keyword in, or you can look for it if you click on any of these titles. And then all you would do is put a little check mark in the box of the filter that you want to add. If you want to remove all of the filters and start from scratch and not use that baseball card, we're going to call them, it's essentially just you using the screener tool. So if you clicked on remove all, it's going to remove all of your filters here, and you can start from scratch building your own screener. If you don't make any changes and you want to see more results than what that card has on the previous scans page, because there's not a whole lot there. I think there's only, 10 or 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Sometimes there is 10, but you can see these boxes only have so many that you can see. So if I clicked on view results again, this screener tool is going to bring you to more results. So 41 results would be in this particular screener, the dividend growers. And here is where you can take a look at all of the tickers. Now, just like the screener tool, the positions or tickers that we have on those baseball cards, you are still going to want to do your research on, each ticker. So you could either click into the screener like you are now from that scans card and click on each ticker symbol to bring you to the position card page where you can analyze that position in more detail. So let's click on one. Did I click on G? Yeah. GILD, it's going to bring me to that position card for this ticker symbol by itself. And this is where you could do a deep dive into this recommendation. Again, there are a lot of tabs here, so don't get overwhelmed. The main tabs that I would focus on if you're a beginner would not be the charts because you would get confused and overwhelmed. I would focus more on the indicators and the statistics tab. The statistics tab is going to tell you a lot of information, especially the earnings per share. So what this box does is it shows you the earnings per quarter for this company. And this one has a really good one. This is exactly how you would want to see a position. You can see that each quarter, this ticker has beat their quarterly earnings. And you can see it says beat down here. And if you see green circles, that means it beat its quarterly earnings. This is what they thought they would make, like they estimated. And this is the actual. So this is a really good earnings per share card. So this is a good tab to look at. You can come to this tab if you want to see if it pays any dividends here. And then you can check like the 1 week, 1 month change or 1 year change here and their fundamentals. So there's a lot of information that you can check on here, but I usually come to the earnings per share. And if I saw a position with a red dot above, that means they missed their quarter earnings. And usually when I see 2 quarters of them missing their quarterly earnings, I usually pass on this one and go to the next. Let me see if I can find one that will show the earnings per share a little different, the card. So you can see what's really neat is it did open up a new tab for me to look at this position in deeper detail. And I can go back to that first tab to go right back to where I was. So let me see if I can click on one that I feel, did it make their earnings? Let's look at WAC Energy. Let's see. So I clicked on that ticker symbol. I went to statistics. Okay, so here's a good example. So to look at this particular card, you always want to keep in mind that these white little circles, remember that is what this company thought or estimated. They have to estimate what they're going to make that next quarter. So it's just an estimate. And then when the results come in, that's where you see the actual in this little pop-up. So they did miss quarter two of 2024, and you can see missed, and it tells you by how much. But they did come back up on quarter three and did beat it slightly. And then this is a good example too, because if they estimated a particular quarter and you see a blue dot, they actually made that quarter equal, like right on the money. So it was exactly the actual came exactly to their estimated. You don't really see that a whole lot, but they were able to do that on quarter four of 2024. And then you'll start seeing at the end of this earnings share box, you'll start seeing the new quarters for 2025. We're still in quarter one of 2025 for most of these companies. But so far, so good in 2025. They did beat their first quarter earnings. And their second quarter for any of these ticker symbols that you click on to look at in more general, um, it is going to tell you the estimated date when we will get their quarterly earnings and update it. So there's nothing here yet for quarter two, but we should have this updated by July 30th. So this is a good tab to do your research on if you're a beginner. And then the indicators tab, and just check it out. Make sure, all of the health and trends and risk is where you want it to be before you invest. So this one would be good. It is in the green zone. So we say in the green zone, it's in a healthy state, typically trending up, and it's been there for the past 8 months. So that's good. Now, the trend, you usually want to see an uptrend, and this one isn't an uptrend. So you can see where they started before in August of 2024, not so good. And this will match here. You can see they were in the red, and you can see why. But over the last 8 months, you can see this trend has just been going up. So that is really good news. So you definitely want to try to stay to the stocks that are trending up. And this one has been for the last 8 months. And then if you're concerned about risk, depending on what type of investment person you are, you would definitely want to take a look at the risk. We do have a chart, and I did put it on the script, but the script I can't get to you guys right now because it's giving me some issues. But I did put a chart there for you to see what we base our risk on, what we feel is low, medium, high, and high risk, depending on the percentage. So, for example, this particular company is a medium risk stock. It does say it next to the percentage here. And medium is going to be anywhere from 15% to 30%. So if there's any of these stocks that are 15% all the way up to 30% here, it's always going to be medium. But you can definitely take a look once you get your script tomorrow afternoon at the chart and compare them. All right, we're not going to go over the seasonality and trade cycles because a lot of you might not have trade cycles or the harmonic trade cycles, all these signals or predictive alpha. But if you do have them, you have more things at your fingertips to look at, more indicators. All right, so let's go back to the scans page. And you can see where it opened up the two tabs because remember, I clicked on two tickers within that screener. So if you don't want these tabs and you've already done your research and you're done with it, you can simply hit the X and get rid of those. All right, so let's see. Okay, we got a really good question that I wanted to bring up. I added it to the script this morning. At this time, we are not able to add our own custom screeners to this scans page. However, I did talk to our product manager, and the request has been passed along to our development team, and they're currently evaluating the possibility of adding this feature. So we are getting that question a lot, but right now you're not able to add your own custom screeners to the scans page, but you can still create your screener, your personalized screener using the screener tool directly. So that's still available. All right, so since we're back on this scan page, let's look at each of these scans, the screener boxes. So each scan or baseball card has its own filter requirements. In your script, I did put each of these boxes, I'll go over this in a second, each of these boxes, what is required. So in your script, there are all the requirements for each of these boxes. Um, and I'll show you what I mean. Let me just pull over this. So I'm not going to go over all of these because I don't want you guys to get confused, but in your script, if you're wondering and curious what all goes into these boxes here, you will have a couple pages because there was a lot of the cards and what it requires to make it into that card, if that makes sense. Okay. So when you get this script tomorrow afternoon, just make sure that you look at this. There is quite a few. You're going to see all of the ones that are here. All right. Now let's see where I was at. Oh, so this bullish harmonic convergence has been empty for a while. Even when us here working here at TradeSmith, we have access to any feature that we come out ahead of time for us to test it. And this box really has been empty. So I did ask our product manager again this morning, and I'm thinking that this is empty because of the market that we're in. However, she is going to follow up with me, and I'll put that in FAQs if that is the case. But more than likely, that is the reason that there's no data to display here. Now, if I clicked on view results, let's see what happens. It'll probably go to the screener tool and there's no results found. So it doesn't necessarily mean you can't use this scans box because you can, as long as you add additional filters. So you're more than happy to keep these filters and maybe add additional filters and then run the screener. All right, let me go back to scans. Now, let me move this down. Okay, not every box is going to have the same columns, if that makes sense. So, for example, the billionaire's bargains is not even going to consider the health. So you can see that this box does not show a health column, but the dividend leaders does. So be sure to see if there is a scroll bar in each box and scroll because there's more information. Usually the same thing, the market cap and latest close. But again, some of these boxes are not even going to show the health because it's not a required filter or requirement for this particular scans card, if that makes sense. All right, and then there's a couple other ones too. So the green profitable dividend growers, you will not see the health either, but for this one, you're going to see an additional section of industries. So it does consider the industries for this particular card. And so forth. So you can go down the line and see that. Now, anytime you see a card, and we could be adding more cards in the future, and keep in mind, these cards update daily. So if you're checking it today, if you come in tomorrow, it could be different. Kind of like the opportunities tab that we have where it shows you the top 20 results, but that can change daily also. These little informational bubbles, if you hover over them, it is going to tell you some information about each of these screeners. So not all of them has this, but most of them do. So just hover over this little informational bubble. This one doesn't have it. And it gives you additional information. Okay, so let me show you guys something. So on these scan cards, if I were to go down to inflation resilient stocks and clicked on view results, You are going to most likely on some of these cards have not a whole lot of results like that first one that gave you 41 because again, it's dependent on the filters that this particular screener has on that particular card. Okay, so this one only has 22 results. But again, you can go down the line and research them by clicking on the ticker. If you after you research them and you come back here in order to save them, so say that you want to maybe watch them to see how the stocks perform before you jump in, you can put a check mark in any of the boxes to the left of the ticker or all of them. If you do the top one, it's going to select all of them. So if say I selected all of them, I can come down here. Let me see if you guys can see this. Hopefully you guys see this at the bottom. It says 22 selected positions because I selected all of these. And then if you open here, you have the choice to add it to a new basket, existing baskets. And in your script, I did put what a basket is and a quick little tutorial of baskets. If you're not familiar with them, definitely take a look at that tomorrow in your script. But if you wanted to add this to a watch list portfolio, so a watch list portfolio is a portfolio that you're watching. So it's not like your real portfolios, it's not actual investments. This is simply just a watch list portfolio. So if I did that and say I wanted to add it to a brand new watch list, I would just select new portfolio. You would just have to name it. You can name it so you know what it is, maybe based on the card that we chose. I forget which one this is. Oh yeah, inflation resilient stocks. So you can see up here. And you can maybe name it that. But for now, I'm just going to do test, test. And then I can take all of these 22 selected positions. So say I don't have time to look at them all, but I want to see how they perform in an actual portfolio as testing, like a watch list. Name it, hit add. Then what you would do to find that watch list is go to My Portfolios, Manage, and you'll see where it brings you to your investment portfolio first. That's why this one's highlighted with the check. Now, in order to see your watch list that you create using all of our tools, so a lot of you could have a lot of watch lists. I know I might when I click on there in a minute, but you can create watch lists usually with all of our tools. So the Pure Quant, the scans, the screener, and the opportunities tab, the risk rebalancer. You can definitely make watch lists for most of the tools. So if I wanted to find that watch only portfolio that I saved from that baseball card, that screener baseball card, which was the inflation stocks, I'm just going to make sure I click on watch only. And this is, and look for the name that you named it. So that's why you definitely don't want to do test like I did. You want to put a name that when you look at this, you're like, oh, that's what that is. Okay. So if I click here to open the actual portfolio, you can see all of those stocks are now in a portfolio, a watch list portfolio, and you can watch it over the next couple of weeks and see what the total gains are, the daily gains, and so forth. All right. So I think that's all the time we have for today. We're trying to keep our boot camps to 30 minutes because after 30 minutes, a lot of people lose interest. But before we wrap up, let me show you where you can access all of our educational resources. So, and we have so much good resources coming out for you that Marina and I are working on, so stay tuned. A lot of education at your fingertips. But in order to find all of your educational resources, you're going to click on Help. And this box is going to appear within the TradeSmith Bootcamp and Video Tutorials folder. So here's the bootcamp one. If you click on here, Here is where you can access all of the boot camps that we've done up until today. So there is a lot of information here. So if you want to look at it in a bigger screen, if you click on one of them, you can see which webinar it is. Click on this little link, go to a new tab, and go right into our education center where you can view it bigger. So you see, this might be easier for you guys to look at it this way. All right, let's go back. Now we also have our Getting Started series for our newbies and all of our members that maybe want a refresher. So we highly suggest you checking out the TradeSmith Getting Started series. You would click here. This one, when you click on it, it will automatically bring you to this help center because when you click here, a lot of people are getting confused. What you guys need to do is look for the subscription that you have. And whatever subscription you have, those are the videos that you need to watch. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you come in here and watch every single video because you can see here each subscription is different. Now, if you don't know what you have or what your subscription is, let me show you where you can find that. You can call customer service, but you can also find it yourself. Let me go back to our site. We'll come back here so I can show you the concierge, but let me show you. If you click on your initial here, you'll notice that we put the education center here. So those of you that don't have the help button, because a lot of you guys have let us know that you don't even have a help button. So a temporary fix that we're doing right now is we actually put that education center I just showed you right in this drop down so you guys can have access to it for those that don't have the help button. But if you clicked on account, it should be single sign-on into a portal, so we'll see what it does. Proceed. I knew it was going to do that. Hold on, let me try it again. Make sure my settings is, yeah, that's working. Account. So when you click on account, it should show all of your subscription information and it's going to list the name of your subscription. So whether it's TradeStops Basic, Lifetime TradeStops, Trade 360, which is a combination of ideas and TradeStops, you would then take whatever's listed here. Hopefully it loads. Well, mine's not loading, but if you're following along and clicking there, you should see something that says subscription here and just take that name of that subscription, go back to that tab, the getting started, and look for whatever your subscription says. And those are the videos that you only have to watch. So you don't have to watch all of these videos because a lot of these videos may not pertain to your subscription. So just find your subscription and there's about 10 to 12 getting started videos and they're quite short. They're 15 minutes or less. You would just click on them to get started. But if you're new, I suggest you coming here first, do all of your checklist here, and then going to the bootcamp webinars. All right, let's go back to the help button where I can show you guys where you can access our complimentary concierge service, and then we'll be done. So let me go back to our site, click on help. So those of you that would like a one-on-one concierge with one of our knowledgeable agents, you can click on schedule a concierge appointment here. It's going to open a new tab. And this is a separate scheduling site. So if it's your first time here, you do have to click on register because your username and password for our site will not work on this scheduling site. So if it's your very first time, you will have to register. Go ahead and create a username and password. Jot that down somewhere because that would be your login going forward for this scheduling site. And then there's going to be prompts of the forms to fill out on each screen. And in your script, when you get it tomorrow, I did do this step by step, and there's a quick concierge video that I recorded. It's about 8 minutes showing you how to book it as well. But definitely take advantage of this. It's complimentary and it's usually about 30 minutes long. Once you finish a concierge, there's no cap to the number of sessions you can have. So you just have to complete your first one first, and then you can book as many as you'd like. All right, thanks again for joining us today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our dedicated customer success team. This Thursday, May 29th, Marina Stroud, your education lead, and senior analyst Michael Bernig or Mike Bernig will host a webinar on constant cash flow. So be sure to register for that webinar. Again, it's this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And those of you that have that subscription included, the constant cash flow, you should have already received an email to register. So be on the lookout for that. And that is going to happen this Thursday. So thank you again for joining us and letting us be a part of your educational journey. Until next time, bye for now.